In this episode, Ronald Reagan is the good guy.
Wait, what the f***?
Too many times.
Remember to smile.
Welcome to Too Many Tabs, a podcast where a husband and wife duo sit next to each other at a table. For now.
Wait, what?
Because I know what you studied for this week's episode.
Yeah.
I know what you did the research on for this week's episode. I turned to you and I said, Mrs. P, what do you got tabs open about this week?
Divorce.
Yeah, that's right. Divorce. Not ours, though.
No.
No. Why don't you explain to the people, Mrs. P, how we ended up staring in the face of divorce? Not ours.
No.
Again, not ours. Yet.
Well, here's what's happening. There was this trend on the social media all over. And it's been happening for a long time. And I'm tired of it. And I don't want it to be brought into 2026.
Got it.
Women complaining about their shitty boyfriend and their terrible husband online, and then being all flabbergasted when people are in the comments being like, leave him.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about women or people that are victims of domestic violence. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, you're not talking about
I'm
this.
talking about the woman who has like a TikTok where she's like, day 4 of me giving my husband the silent treatment because he didn't get me a Christmas gift. Or the dog food lady.
Yes. Yeah, you showed me the dog food one.
Yeah, she forgot her lunch, so
Yes.
she called her husband and said, hey, can you pack me a lunch and bring it over? And he's like, yeah, so he packs her a lunch, and it's just random snacks and half-eaten bags of trash, and then in the very bottom is a Ziploc bag full of dog kibble with a note on it that says like, cause you're my bitch or something. I don't even remember it, but everybody on the internet was like, bro, he hates you.
Yeah.
He hates you, divorce him.
And the big part of this is it's a cultural thing too, is
Yeah.
because a lot of these videos are being posted by women in more conservative states than the United States. And they're posting it to be like, oh, look at Craig. Craig isn't he just so silly? Ha ha. And then the women be like, oh, men. Because that's what they would say at the church function or something like that. It would be a way, oh, right, men are silly. Oh, he doesn't help me with the baby.
But then
he doesn't do anything around the house. Oh, look at my dumb husband. And it's like a leftover boomer humor.
Yeah.
It's like a weird
Yeah.
leftover boomer humor. But when you hear that from somebody in their 20s, you're like, hey, just so you know, no-fault divorce has been available your entire life. Use it. And people who have rightfully been through domestic violence situations or have seen these, like how these things inevitably turn out, they're like, hey, I know you think this is a canon event, but we can skip that. Just leave him.
Just leave him.
Just leave him.
And stop posting on the internet. I do think it's funny that the algorithm takes these videos, like you're saying, that are like culturally for a specific like conservative group of people.
Yes.
That they think they're just going to get a couple comments. People like, oh my God, husbands are so lame.
Oh my
God. They can't
God.
find anything.
None of them know how to change a diaper suddenly. And it's like, yeah, that's a bad dad.
But then the
change the diaper, okay? Why are you letting your kid be covered in poop while you sit in the living room? Why? Oh, because you got to watch football? You got to put your entire paycheck into DraftKings? Change that diaper, okay? Wipe that kid. It's front to back, Steve. I'm not wrong.
But I was thinking it's funny that the algorithm sends those videos to the lib algorithm.
It does.
So a bunch of like feminist women with college degrees are like, hey babe, listen, I've been a social worker for a long time. I'm going to need you to opt out of this quickly.
Yeah.
And then they're like, why is everybody bullying me? And then that's the thing that drives me nuts is they get in the comments and they're like, no, he's a good man. And we're like, he's not, Stephanie. Anyway, I'm saying leave this behavior
Yes.
in 2025. 2026 is rough enough.
Yeah.
I can't see your shitty husband anymore.
Yeah.
I can't see your shitty boyfriend. Please stop posting them. And here's what happened. So I was, after one of these many videos, I get on the internet. Why aren't these women getting divorced? It's like, I'm basically, that's the Google search. Why aren't these women getting divorced? And then I started researching about divorce in America. And I found out about the divorce capital of the world. Do you know what city in America was at one time, not anymore, was at one time considered the divorce capital of the world?
There was a specific city?
Yes.
I was just in the United States. There was one city.
One town, baby.
One town that was the divorce capital of the world. Well, we did an episode a long time ago about Heinrich Schliemann.
Okay.
And we didn't have a city in that, but we talked a little bit about Indianapolis in the 1850s.
No.
No? There's a specific city?
Yeah, Reno.
Reno?
Reno is the capital of divorce.
Wait, you're talking about like Reno 911 Reno?
Yes, no, exactly.
Like New Boots Goofing Reno?
Yes. New Boots Goof in Reno is exactly what I'm talking about.
That at one point in time was the divorce capital of the world.
4 decades, married women from other states would travel to Reno to check in with their shitty husband and check out divorced.
That is so incredible.
So wait, let's take a break. And when we come back, I want to explain to you how this happened and all the crazy things I learned about the Reno Cure.
If you didn't like that ad, you can always join us at Patreon at pearlmania500.net for ad-free content. But Mrs. P is going to tell us a little bit of an advertisement of what it would be like to go to Reno, Nevada in the early, 1900s? Where are we at?
The early 20th century.
Early 20th century.
So in the early 20th century, divorce was still very taboo all over the United States. Right?
Yeah, which has always been weird to me. It's always been super weird because the United States, for the most part, Protestant country. Many of it was founded, with England and all this other different stuff. And England was also very taboo against divorce.
And how did Protestants become Protestants?
Well, how did the Church of England, the whole reason it exists is because of Henry VIII, which the whole thing was about divorce.
Yep.
And so it's never made sense to me why so many people and there were so many laws against divorce and so many taboos against divorce and all these different things where people were like, no, divorce bad. And so I've always been super confused about this. Now, when you get into the whole idea of trying to control women and
that's why.
I know, but I'm just saying from a logic, this is, again,
don't use logic when can have misogyny, babe.
Okay.
Misogyny has no logic.
No, it does. That's the part that's crazy.
Oh, no.
It's like there is, no, I'm saying for the misogynist. And when you're making these laws, that's where the internal logic is. But on one side, when you're like, no, everybody should be, same thing with racism, right? On the one side, when you're like, everybody should be free. Well, except for 3/5 over here. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the same thing of when they're talking about equality. Well, except for half, 51%.
Yeah, it's more than half.
Yeah, I know.
It's more than half.
I know.
So, like you're saying,
yes,
getting a divorce in the early 20th century, it was very difficult. Actually,
yes,
for a lot of 20th century, it was very difficult because it was called a fault divorce. You had to prove fault in one partner, whether that was abandonment, adultery. Abuse usually wouldn't fly. The courts are like, oh, you're being abused? You need to pray about it or something.
Yeah, well, they would usually ask, they would literally be like, well, what did you do?
Yeah, what did you do?
And there was a lot of really weird laws around abuse. Obviously, the rule of thumb is one that comes up a lot. We didn't have child abuse laws. The first child abuse, for beating your own kid, was actually, it was the Humane Society had to use dog beating laws. And then the same thing for women and all this different stuff. They had to reapply humane laws about animals to women and children because they didn't view women and children as being equal to that of a pet.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But
So Nevada. When Nevada became a state in 1864, the residency requirements to file a lawsuit, like a divorce lawsuit, was 6 months.
6 months.
This is short. The rest of the country is really a year or two.
Okay.
Right?
You got to be there for a while.
You have to file a divorce and then live with the person for a year or two while the court decides that they can prove fault.
And also, you have to also be a resident of that state to then have standing in that state.
Exactly.
Is the other big part of it. Got it.
So the grounds for divorce also in Nevada had lots of options that the rest of the country didn't have, which included catch-alls like, quote, extreme physical and mental cruelty.
Oh.
Or there was you could prove that if your defendant was unkind or stayed out late or caused you distress or disrupted your life, those would all fall into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, which is a huge thing that none of which were being counted in most of the rest of the country.
No, this was very Nevada specific.
This was and actually one thing that's big about this is a lot of people. I know right now when we're living here in MAGA world and we look at places like Wyoming and when we look at other places in the West, a lot of people are well, they're all very, very conservative. Actually, they were the libs.
They were super libbed because the community was so transient.
Yeah.
So it was people would come in and leave and come in and come out.
But also, they were also all people coming to a new area, so they were trying new things.
Yeah.
So they would get there and be like, what's crazy when we got here? Have you noticed women here are they're like people.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep them all inside.
Or if we've learned anything from this podcast,
yeah,
is that most of the time they're just showing up and changing their name to hide some grift they pulled in a different state.
100%. But
they're like, I'm a chiropractor all of a sudden. You're like, wait, what?
But Wyoming was one of the first states to allow women to vote and to run for office and things like that. And so in Nevada, they're right next door. They're like, oh, we could try this. We could try this. And it's you start to see the idea in our states, and the idea of America is supposed to be 50 labs that we can test out things and be like, does this work over here? Oh, wait, hey, guess what? Gay marriage worked over here in Massachusetts. We can try it in Hawaii. Oh, then we can try it over here. And then it spreads over the whole country. And all these different types of things. It's what it's supposed to work.
That's how it's supposed to
It
work.
also works in reverse with like, hey, well, we can do a little bit of fascism down here in Florida. And then we can try a little bit here in Texas. And before you know it,
Okay.
Divorce your ICE husband.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll get to that.
So, mostly women go to Reno, okay?
Mostly women go to Reno.
Huge flocks of women heading to Reno because Nevada didn't require both people in a divorce case to be present in court.
Oh.
Right? And so a lot of times there were mutual people that wanted to get divorced, like a husband would agree. So he would stay home so he could work and pay for the wife to go away for the 6 months.
Yeah.
To go stay there to get it done. Because he's like, let me just invest the time to have my wife go get all the paperwork done.
Yeah.
I'll stay here and work.
We're not happy. Or in some ways, he might have met somebody else. She might have met somebody else.
Yeah.
There's a whole
Or
situation.
a lot of the time she's sneaking. She ran away.
Well,
She
no, I know
ran
that,
away.
but what you're saying though about him staying and paying, is the other part of it. Is because even in some of these states, they were in a situation where they couldn't find a judge that would allow the two of them, even if it was mutual.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole thing. They had to have a fault. And then one of them would have to go in and be like, well, I cheated on her. And they don't want to put that in the paper. Because then if it became a big deal, let's say you're in California, right?
Okay.
And you want to get a divorce, the judge, you have a really old guy, conservative judge who's like, well, we're not granting it unless you have a reason.
Yep.
And then one of you has to say that you cheated on the other. And then that gets printed in the paper. And now you want to go to the bank and get a loan. And this is back when things like whether or not you were cheating on your spouse would actually decide whether or not you could get a mortgage. That could be a big issue.
Yeah.
So that's,
yeah.
I just say like, there's so many things. Like you start to see the layers of how if you need to find fault, somebody has to admit that they've done something that is a sin.
Yeah.
And that sin has ripple effects in a culture that is trying to police morality.
Yeah. So the new residents seeking divorce were required to swear under oath that they intended to make Nevada their permanent home.
So the women are traveling to Nevada.
Yeah.
And then the second they get there, they're like, I'm filing for divorce and I'm totally staying.
I'm definitely staying.
I'm 100% staying.
Yeah.
Right here in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada.
Yeah. And then as soon as they got their divorce decrees signed, they would get on a train and leave.
Which is hilarious. And which is hilarious because all the way back in the Heinrich Schliemann episode, I had to look it up when you told me we were talking here about the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually so close to the story of what happens in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Because Indianapolis became a big divorce mecca for a while as well. And Heinrich Schliemann in that story, he goes there and he's like, I love Indianapolis. It's the greatest place I've ever been. And he even like invests in like some local businesses and he has people say like, oh no, Heinrich loves it here. And the whole time he's writing letters home being like, I fucking hate Indianapolis. This is the worst place. This is a terrible place, a terrible state. Everyone's miserable. And the second they gave him divorce, he left the next day.
Bye.
He was like, find me, bitches.
Bye.
And he moved to Greece. He was like, I would rather be there. And having had an Indianapolis Reuben,
Yeah, well.
I get it.
Wow. In 1909,
Yeah.
Reno had already gained a reputation as the go-to place for a quickie divorce. And a very specific industry springs up.
Oh, okay.
Lodging and entertainment steps away from the courthouse.
Oh, because they're like, everyone's coming here for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like with gas stations.
I'm sorry, what?
So a lot of people don't realize this. Most gas stations, they don't make money on the gas.
Oh, yeah, I did know
They're
that.
buying the gas and they're selling it pretty close at cost, especially if they're in an area where there's a lot of gas stations.
Yeah.
Where they make the money is on the candy sales.
Yeah.
It's on the other things that you have
It's on
around
the
there.
Monster Energy drinks.
Monster Energy drinks,
Hard-boiled
Gatorades.
Wawa coffee.
Even cigarettes actually they usually don't make that much of a markup on.
No.
Because of taxes and things like that. Because again, they're like, you're going to come in here to get this thing, but then we're also going to sell you on all these other services, right?
Yeah.
Wawa, that's the whole reason Pennsylvanians eat gas station food, right?
Yeah.
We have a whole industry around the fact of we need gas. Also, while I'm getting gas, I'm going to get a hoagie.
Yeah, I'm good.
And this is exactly what they're doing in Reno.
Exactly.
They're building
They built divorce tourism.
That's so great.
And it goes crazy.
I love this.
Yeah. So one of the funny things I found out about like the courthouse, there was a bridge that was like a few blocks away from the courthouse that went over a river, and people called it the wedding ring bridge because newly divorced wives, well, ex-wives, would go to the bridge to throw their wedding rings into the river. And some women didn't actually go like throw their real wedding rings. They'd go to the Five and Dime, buy a fakie just to throw it in the water and leave.
That is so fun. In Reno, they had a reverse Paris lock bridge.
Yes.
It's a reverse Paris lock bridge.
Yes.
I totally understand though wanting to throw a fake one.
Yeah.
Because
You gotta sell the other one for cash.
you gotta hawk that other one.
You gotta sell the other one for cash.
You gotta take it
At
down
the
to
pawn shop.
Take it down to Pawn Stars. Get yourself some Battle Toads. That's a reference for specific people. It's a very specific
What's a
meme.
Battletoad?
Don't worry about it, okay?
Okay.
But I love the idea of somebody watching. Hey, you know what? Every couple of days, a woman goes down and she throws her wedding ring, and then she looks up into the sky. It's like, everything's gonna be okay, meme. You know
No,
what
it's that Nicole Kidman meme after she divorces Tom Cruise.
What?
Wait, what?
What?
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
There is a very famous picture of after Nicole Kidman finally got her divorce from Tom Cruise because he's a Scientologist and he made it really, really hard for her.
Yeah.
And it took a really long time. And then after they got divorced, it was like, yeah, she's seen dancing out of the courthouse and paparazzi caught it. And she's literally just like hands in the air, breathing big. She's like, yes.
Oh
Because
my
it took her
God.
so
That's
long.
like prison freedom.
Exactly. Look, she's just screaming alone.
Yeah.
There's not even like a lawyer with her.
Oh my
This is a
God.
woman experiencing the pure joy of divorce.
That's incredible. I think she's getting divorced again, too.
How dare you, sir?
Well, no, I think she is. I think she's leaving that country guy.
The country guy with the hair?
Yeah. I don't remember
I don't
his
know
name.
who he
I
is.
don't know. I thought, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
he's
I
like
heard
Australian cowboy? I don't
some-
understand that.
Listen, well, she's Australian.
We already talked about cowboy hats in the last episode.
That's true.
This is a pro-divorce episode.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? Listen, having a marriage and being pro-divorce is just like having a child and being pro...
Abortion.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it is.
You
No.
can't have one without the other.
We are married because we can get divorced.
Exactly.
Every day I wake up and I look at you and I'm like, I guess we'll do it another day.
Yeah, one more day.
One more day.
One more day.
One more day, everybody.
Okay, so in 1927...
Isn't that the Les Mis song?
Yeah, it is.
One day more. That's us. That's. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Every day...
I almost divorced you when you made me go see that fucking movie.
Did we see it in the theater?
Yeah, you made me go sit in the theater.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was mad.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, "This is terrible."
Anne Hathaway did a great job. In
Anne Hathaway did a great job.
1927, the residency requirement was reduced to 3 months. So we went from 6 months to 3 months.
In 1927.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the Great Depression
Oh.
decimates domestic industry.
Yeah.
Now it's 1931. Nevada passes 2 crucial bills that will change the state's fortune.
Okay.
First, they legalize gambling. They're like, yup, let's
Yeah.
gamble, baby.
Yeah, I mean, everybody who thinks of Nevada, you should think immediately of basic. I mean, I know we're talking a lot about divorce, but most people think of gambling.
Yes.
And maybe nukes. There's a
Well-
lot of nukes. There's a lot of nukes. They blew up a lot of them out there in the desert.
And the second is they reduce the residency requirements again, this time to just 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
A month and a half. So they went from 6 months
Yeah.
to 6 weeks in about 4 years.
Listen,
They were just like bam, 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 bam.
they were watching the market. They were watching the market.
Yeah, and somebody was just like, "Listen, what does this fucking matter?" These people. The best part is too. At this point, they also know that it isn't actually affecting Nevadans. It's all people coming in.
Yeah.
So like, let's just make it easy. Let's just speed this up.
Yeah.
If
We
anything,
get
by
our
making
numbers
it
up.
6 months, with these people, we're stuck with the same customer.
Yeah.
We're
You
saying-
got to turn this table. You got to flip it.
Yeah, these women are showing up here and they're staying in the same hotel, so the hotels don't have enough vacancy. They need turnover.
Yeah.
This way you can start to also have seasons.
This is me working a lunch shift at Marathon Grill. I'm trying to flip that table 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, yeah,
That
you-
is a very specific
That's
shout out.
That's a very people. Yeah.
Wait, let's take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk about this is when the industry starts to pop off.
Okay, this is when the divorce industry starts to become big
Yeah.
in Nevada.
Big money, baby.
Well, it's January, and that means it's a new year, which means it's time to declutter, right, Mrs. P?
We've been cleaning.
We've been cleaning. We've been cleaning things out. We've been going into the pantry. We've been finding things that are expired. But you know the one thing I've been doing?
What?
I've been making sure that I've been decluttering our online presence.
Right.
Right? What I mean by that is every website we go to, every time we go do shopping, every time we use an app, we're leaving a little trail of information that leads right back to our front door.
Yep.
And you know what you got to do with that? You got to make sure that you clean that up, which is why we use today's sponsor, Delete Me. Delete Me is a service that goes around the internet and finds your information that is out there that is for sale on people finder websites, background check companies, and data brokers, and they make sure that they go to those sites and they tell them to delete me. If you go to joindeleteme.com/ProMania20 today, you can save 20% on a plan to help protect you and your family to make sure things like your home address, your name, your phone number, all their information, and so much more is removed from the internet. So go check the link down in the description or in the show notes. Go to joindeleteme.com/ProMania20 today and declutter your online presence. And we're back, and thank you to that sponsor for helping us keep going with this show and stay married.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Reno's divorce industry popping off, like I said.
Okay.
Because more people can afford to take 6 weeks off.
Then 6 months.
Exactly. A
Yeah.
6-week vacay? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's very European of you.
Yeah, I mean, now it's unaffordable. Now we can't do it.
Can do
You want
I'm sorry,
6
what?
weeks?
That's crazy.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, no, you're fired. But back then, 6
Yeah.
weeks was actually like kind of like that was a good amount of time.
Yeah, it was normal.
Yeah.
If your wife disappeared for 6 weeks to go on a vacation and visit her family, that was like, yeah, that's normal. That's okay.
It also was like the cover for an abortion.
Yeah.
Like that was like abortion cover.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, just going, oh no, she's gonna go visit her, she's visiting her cousin.
Yeah.
She's going there visiting her cousin in one of those other states.
A lot of visiting going
There's
on.
a lot of visiting. And also because of the travel times were much different.
Yeah.
Today, when you go travel, because of planes being everywhere.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like, oh, maybe she's taking a train, maybe she's going there. And if you didn't travel as often, so if you did take a vacation, it was a big one.
Yeah.
People used to go and stay places for extended periods of time. Now we pop in, we take a selfie, and then we leave.
Yeah.
And then because we do it for the gram.
Nobody does it for the gram anymore.
No one does it for the gram
No, because
anymore?
the grid, you don't even see people's pictures anymore.
That's true.
So what's the point?
Yeah, because it's ruined by content creators and influencers. Like Pearlmania 500. I
He's
hate
the
that
worst.
guy.
That guy is
I
always
wanna
yelling.
I want to see pictures of my friends' kids, and instead some man is telling me that ICE agents wearing masks are stealing children in Minnesota. Nobody wants to hear about that.
So, divorce capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is when they become the divorce capital of the world. This is when
Okay.
newspapers start reporting.
Oh, they start openly saying.
Yeah, they're like, Reno's the divorce capital of the world. So it's becoming culturally known at this point
Gotcha.
across the country.
It was a whisper campaign,
Yeah.
and now it's becoming more
now
obvious.
they got a lot of marketing going on.
Yeah.
And
It's turning into a what happens in Reno stays in Reno type of thing. Yeah.
And they started referring to it as she's gone to take the 6-week cure.
Oh.
Which is where the terminology, the Reno Cure, came in.
The Reno Cure.
That's what women would call it. Oh, I'm going to go take the Reno Cure.
Oh, it's you know what they used to say, and when people were instead of saying the word pregnant back in the day, they used to say a family way. She's in a family way. That was all. I love that we talked. No wonder boomers and our president are so fucking stupid because everyone talked in such heavily coded language around them to protect them from the fact that we live in the real world.
Well, that and all the lead. They were just breathing in so much lead.
Yeah, it was literally in the gas.
Just lead
It was
everywhere.
just everywhere.
They're not well people.
No.
Over 325,000 marriages would come to an end during this time.
Wow.
Pumping them, flipping these tables.
Wow, that's
Flipping.
incredible.
Okay. I know your favorite author, so I had to look her up because your favorite author, Ayn Rand.
Oh, do not. You can't joke about Ayn Rand being my favorite author. She is not my favorite author. Mm-hmm. She is an evil devil.
Yeah.
Everyone who reads her book and thinks that what her ideas are good, they are bad people.
Yeah.
If you are married to someone who tells you, actually, I like The Fountainhead. Actually, I like Ayn Rand. Have you ever read Atlas Shrugged? Divorce him.
Divorce.
Or
her.
Being selfish is actually good. There's makers and takers. Fuck you.
Divorce. So.
You know who is named after Ayn Rand?
Who?
Rand Paul.
Ew, what?
Rand Paul. His first name is her last name. Because Ron Paul, his dad, loved that shit. all these fake libertarians who are like, actually, I care. The first thing, notice how none of them are out.
Where are
in the
they
streets.
at, dude?
Yeah, they're all being pussies. All the fucking 2A assholes. Oh, look at me, I'm a fucking boogaloo boy. I gotta go wear all my cosplay gear. Bitches. Anyway, talk about Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand's novel, The Fountainhead,
hate
which
her.
was published in 1943.
I just hate her so much. It's a bad book.
It's a bad
It's a
book.
boring fucking
It's a
book.
terrible book.
It's a book about trains.
Yeah.
That isn't Thomas the Tank. Can I say that? It's not Thomas the Tank.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the little engine that could. Listen, I got a train kid right now. Sorry,
Yeah.
we have
Thank
a
you.
train
I was
kid.
like, is yours?
Okay, we have a train kid right now.
Yeah.
I'm watching a lot of train
Big
content.
into trains over
okay?
here.
I see how she tried to pipeline an entire generation into being fucking greedy assholes. Oh, I'm making it about trains. I remember when I was in high school, that's how they tricked people into reading that fucking book. They actually had scholarships, and they were cheap scholarships. It was like, read this book and you might win $100.
Okay.
And it was like $100 scholarship, basically like a check. Then you could use that towards your college or whatever.
That's like not even one textbook.
I know, but they were tricking people back then in the 90s.
Yeah.
And you would see the posters. Like in my public school, there were posters about like, read Atlas Shrugged and write a book report about it. And then you can send it away and maybe you'll
I
win
wish that was
money.
still happening. I would love to write a book report
I
about
would,
that.
well, you write a book report every week.
Not every week.
What,
Woo.
what do you think this show is?
Oh, wait.
This
Right.
show is
I
a-
do write a book report every week.
Yeah, this show is a series of reports. This is a series of book reports.
Oh, man, I am just doing book reports.
Yeah, and you do a semi-monthly book report we literally call a story report.
I know.
That it only exists on our audio feed. That you can only hear on like Apple Podcasts or Pocket Casts or Spotify or our Patreon at pearlmania500.net.
Nice plug. I
That's
like
right.
that.
I'm going to slide that
Yeah,
plug right
nice
in there.
that plug.
The same way that Ayn Rand slid in her bullshit about being like, oh, actually, I'm anti-socialist. I'm anti-communist. No, you're just a greedy bitch.
In the novel Fountainhead, published in 1943, the protagonist tells her friend at a certain point in conversation, quote, I'm going to Reno, which was understood as declaring an intention to get divorced. Now, when we would have read this now, we probably wouldn't have gotten it. When we read it for this high school book report,
Yeah,
$100,
yeah.
you wouldn't have got what the conversation...
I literally would have thought, New Boot Goofin'?
New Boot Goofin'.
Oh my God, they're New Boot Goofin'.
But in 1943, it was understood between women
Yeah.
that I'm going to Reno means I'm divorcing his ass.
Yeah.
Which is, listen, fuck Ayn Rand for life. I just thought it was very interesting that it was so in the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah.
That by saying that, it was implied that everybody would know that, but we don't know that now because we didn't realize that Reno was like that back
Well, and
then.
that's one of the things is that little cultural zeitgeist thing is one of the things I tried to do when I'm either on this podcast or on Crashing Out, of just being like, oh, this thing that's very obvious right now, I might want to just throw a thing in there of just for like timestamp for in the future. There's so many things in history
Yeah.
where we just have these moments where like, we don't know what they meant by that.
No.
It's crazy. So it's this, we're lucky we actually know
Yeah.
that I'm going to Reno means I'm divorcing this man because I am sick of him.
So all these people that are desperate to divorce, right? They all show up in Reno and they need somewhere to stay for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So these businesses start to pop up.
Oh.
Okay. There are places where you could stay for 6 weeks, kind of like theoretically like an Airbnb.
Okay.
That idea, right?
Okay.
But there was a housing manager on site. Kind of like in rehab, actually. More like rehab, less Airbnb.
Okay.
Because there'd be a housing manager that would keep a checkboard and testify in court that you hadn't left the state in 24 hours. You needed to prove that you made it back in time. You know what I mean?
Got it.
Yeah. So you had to make sure that someone was signing off that you were residing within Reno for 24 hours at a time.
You didn't show up one day. Basically, what they're trying to say is you didn't show up, be like, yeah, no, I'm going to definitely stay here, and then leave town.
No.
Come back 6 weeks later, be like, I was here the whole time.
No.
Like, no, every day you have to go, hey.
You had to sign in and check in with the housing manager, and they would probably do like roll call at night, knock on the door before bed, whatever. So these people could choose between bunks or boarding houses or with roommates. Some of the women that would come, they would be financially unstable.
Yeah.
And they would get jobs, right? Maybe they would become cleaners, blah, blah. But I did find some women would get jobs as, and I swear to God, this is what they were called, shills.
Shills? They were called shills?
Yeah, these women.
They had legal shills?
Yeah.
What's a shill? Okay, I mean, I know. Very funny.
What's a shill?
But what do
I'm
they
going
mean?
to your comment section to find out.
Well, I know. Well, that's one. I know. What's a plant? Anyway, but what do they mean by shills?
So basically, shills were people hired by casinos to act as fake customers to like egg people on into participating. So basically they'd hire like pretty women to play games and then egg men on into gambling more.
That's so okay. Immediately I'm thinking of one thing.
What?
Which is actually our Edward R. Bernays. These are actually very funny because you don't remember these that well because you were heavily pregnant when we recorded them.
Oh, okay.
They were at the end of season 2. We recorded them and put them in the can.
Yeah.
They're audio-only podcasts that are out there. I think there might be a couple of them on YouTube, but we did an episode of Edward R. Bernays, who was a marketing guy.
Yes.
He invented PR.
Yeah.
And he famously would hire women to do things like publicly smoke cigarettes. So that way, when people were watching them smoke, they go, oh, it's acceptable for women to smoke cigarettes. And these were elegant women.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing for these shills is when you go by and they go, oh, well, there's like normal women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing like gentrification and stuff like that. When you see somebody who looks like you go, oh, well, this neighborhood isn't that dangerous. That lady lives here. Or that lady, she feels comfortable
Yeah,
here.
there was a running joke back in the day where we were living in Philly that was like, I think one of my friends saw a white woman jogging.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, fuck, we're about to get priced out of this joint.
100%.
And I said, facts, we got to move.
Yeah, no,
we got to move.
But it was the same thing with this is these women who are working as shills for the casinos, right? Casinos have this rough, especially in the West.
Yeah.
They have this rough and tumble, okay corral, shootout cowboy type of feel, right? You go in there, you get cheated. Well, here's this lady and she's there in her petticoat.
Yeah.
You know, and she's out there, she's playing a slot machine and she's giggling, she's having a good time. Or look, they're just hanging out and they're just, having lemonade, right? Yeah. And like, that's just their pay just to stand there. And then these women are just like, okay, all I need to do is stand here and that covers my board.
Yeah, and you're probably going to give me a cocktail.
And you're going to give me a cocktail or something like that? Maybe I'll get
what
cigarettes.
A job.
Yeah.
What a job.
They don't have to, they're not dressing up and going, cigarettes? No, they're just like literally like, your job is to stand here and just go,
what if they ended up getting really good at gambling? Like Jennifer Tilly? Like they just get really good at it and then make a ton of money?
When you told me that Jennifer Tilly from...
Hero. Icon.
From
Legend.
Bride of Chucky. And from the movie with Gina Gershon, Bound. Thank you for that movie, by the way, Jennifer Tilly. Just thank you from me.
Thank you
from
for
the
your
bottom of my heart.
service.
From the bottom of my heart. Thank you for the movie Bound with Gina Gershon. Okay? We'll leave it there. We both know what we're talking about. Anyway, when you told me that she is like a prolific
poker player.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I guess. Like, I know about like celebrity poker. I'm not a gambling person.
Yeah,
I don't gamble that
neither
often.
of us gamble.
But when you told me that, and then you showed me that one purse, there's this crazy purse that she has.
She's rich.
She's rich.
She's rich.
And then you showed me the price of the purse.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
She's rich, but also she got Simpsons money. She got a portion of the Simpsons in her divorce. So she took that money, and then because she's so good at gambling, she actually got the numbers up.
Jennifer Tilly is this episode. This episode is just Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
Yes, she was married to like a Simpsons creator or early producer, and then they got divorced.
Yeah.
And then she got all the money from, like, she got a huge, the half or whatever from that. And then she then put a bunch of it into becoming really good at gambling.
Yeah.
And she's also an icon because of her voice.
And I love her so much.
Yeah.
She's a real housewife now.
What?
She's like, I think LA. She's a real housewife of Los Angeles now, and she is incredible. In the
Jennifer
show
Tilly,
because
friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. She is the only one that number one I think has ever actually been poor. And so
everyone else is just saying crazy like Kardashian level shit.
Yeah, but also she's more wealthy than they are.
That's right,
because it's her money.
Oh, I remember you mentioning this because that was the thing is when she was wearing that crazy purse.
Yeah.
Because you were like, no, you don't understand. Like it was like an Hermes or something, right?
Something I don't even remember.
It was something like insane.
Yeah.
And I'm sure at this point, Mr. Third has put up a ton of imagery.
I might find it and send it to Mr. Third.
I think we have to.
But yeah, so she's incredible. Love her forever. Let's take a break because I've told you what happens if you are a woman who maybe was not of means.
Yes.
And you went to Reno. When we come back, I want to talk about let's say you had some cash.
Oh, so
Rich.
if you got Jennifer Tilly money,
Yeah.
and you went to Reno back in the day,
Looked a little different.
because you are done with his ass.
Yes.
We looked it up during the break. Jennifer Tilly's purse was a $33,000 Louis Vuitton boat purse.
Yeah, it looks like a little leather Titanic.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so her just casually carrying that around is probably one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Yeah.
Well, listen, you know where she's going to carry it to?
Where?
Reno.
Reno.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
So if you have cash and you need to get a Reno divorce,
Back
a
in the
Reno Cure.
back in the 1930s.
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't have to go spend time with someone who was checking in on a checkboard to make sure you were there, right?
Yeah.
They built ranches.
Ranches. Okay.
Now, some of the ranches are a little modest, right? But luxury ranches started popping up.
So these are like little resorts.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Little ranchy resorts.
Got it. And
The ranch is more of a theme.
Yeah.
It's a resort with a theme.
Because again, we're out. This is the West,
Yeah.
right? This is the West. This is cowboy country. Now the thing is, though, most people think ranches, and they think Reno. They think things like the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah.
They think more about the legalized prostitution that's out there.
Yeah.
Which has to be like outside city limits. There's like a whole weird
Listen,
laws
lot
and
of
things like
laws
that.
over there.
That's very different. But this is specifically in town.
Yeah.
And it is a ranch, and it's mostly women. Just
Most of the time it's women.
most of the time, it's women just
And-
hanging out in these bungalows.
So it's a luxurious ranch, right? It's like a 5-star situation. You know, I need to picture that. One of them was called the Flying ME Ranch, which was favored by the Hollywood elites.
Okay,
People
so-
that were of the highest class would go there.
Yeah,
right?
so actors, actresses, but also
celebrities.
celebrities.
There were what's the when you have a person who's from a different country? Diplomats.
Diplomats would stay there. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Okay, so the one thing about the Flying Emmy Ranch that's very funny, they also had individual tanning beds in the rooms so that when you returned home single, you looked like you had, you didn't even have to go outside.
Yeah.
You could just come back looking refreshed.
I had a little vacay.
I was on a vacay. I came back looking refreshed.
I had a 6-week vacay. I was feeling blue. I got the Reno Cure.
Exactly.
I feel great.
Yeah, I feel
Oh,
better.
that's so funny. Imagine going to Reno, getting divorced, and coming back with skin cancer.
Well,
imagine.
Back then, skin cancer didn't exist. Now you just rub beef tallow on your skin, and that protects you from the
because
sun.
you don't want the aluminum from your sunscreen.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, because that's what's going to block your chakras.
See,
That's why we drink.
You've been listening to too many tabs.
I have been listening to too many tabs while I drink Feel Free and raw milk.
Yeah, together. It's like you drop it in.
Yeah, I drop it. I drop it like a Boilermaker. I drop a thing of Feel Free into a cup of raw milk, and then I slam it while I think about the harvest. You know who should have gotten a no-fault divorce in Reno?
Well,
Heyo.
some of the high-end ranches employed cowboys, and the cowboys led group activities and
Yeah.
provided entertainment. So I don't think that they're real cowboys. They're men wearing cowboy hats to give the illusion that they're cowboys.
Performative males.
Yes.
Like we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah.
Put on a cowboy hat. Oh my God, today, if you had this ranch, you would have men who would be carrying around the large totes with a vinyl record in it and a
Yeah.
Labubu hanging off. And he'd be like, no, I really believe in rights and stuff.
Yeah.
And back then he'd be like, I'm a cowboy. I'm not one of them sissy bankers like your husband.
Exactly.
Let me show you how I can do with the rope.
So these cowboys would do these group activities and provide entertainment.
Uh-huh.
And in some instances, they themselves were the entertainment.
Heyo.
There was one ranch that was called the Lazy M.E. Ranch.
Yeah.
But some people had a nickname for it, the Lay Me Easy Ranch.
Hey, come on down to Lay Me Easy. You can get divorced and get your back blown out.
Woo!
We're breaking in Broncos, everybody.
The ranches also provided psychological support and fostered community because there was all these women in a very stressful situation together.
Yeah, and I can totally see that. And honestly, if I was going to write a story right now, I'm not going to write it because I wouldn't know directly how to write it. But if I was somebody looking for a story idea, you already gave me an idea, which is setting a story at one of these divorce ranches, right, in the 1940s, and it's of women from all different walks of life all over America coming there with their different stories, and then finding community and sisterhood
Yeah.
in like almost like a group therapy session. And then you could turn it into a series because you could have the only character that stays the same. Maybe that's like the den mother lady.
Yeah.
Who's like running the house, right? Oh, you could do like a whole thing with this.
It would be like
Sisters of the Traveling Pants, but like for like women who need to be divorced. Right? Does that work?
Yeah. I was thinking of that nurse show, Call the Midwife. You didn't watch that with me, but Call the Midwife is like the nuns stay the same, but the nurses change. Anyway.
That sounded weirdly like Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
The time
so
but the nurses change. All right. That's so weird.
See, these women end up building lifelong friendships.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
Also, Reno gave way to a thriving lesbian scene.
Oh, you know what? My brain didn't go there immediately, but there it is.
Yeah.
Wow. Just like the movie Bound with Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly.
No, there actually is a film about this.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was made by a woman named Donna Deitch, and it was a 1985 cult movie called Desert Hearts.
What?
And it's all about the lesbian scene in Reno. Look it up. Look it up.
Oh my God, I've never heard of this movie.
Listen, like I said, it's a cult classic.
Yeah, but this
Underground lesbian desert films.
Desert Hearts. What a
New
name.
boot scooting.
New boot scooting. I love this. That's so great. There's so many times though when there's moments like this that have happened where like you end up with this like underground gay culture.
Yeah.
That just kind of like is just there under the surface because of like stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, imagine being in like 1941. You're in the desert. You're finally leaving this bullshit man.
Yeah.
You discover you're a lesbian.
Yeah.
It's 1941.
You're wearing pants. Nobody's there to tell you not to.
Yeah.
You're wearing pants, bud.
Sisterhood of the Scissoring Pants.
Whoa.
What?
Some women went to Reno with what they called spares.
Spares?
Not like a spare tire.
Okay.
They would bring a different man that they would marry as soon as their divorce was signed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
No. It's just not working out between him and me. We're done? Got it. New guy. Yeah.
Also, one woman married her divorce attorney.
That's crazy. Listen, she must have, to be a divorce attorney to get married.
A Reno divorce attorney.
Yeah.
This guy's watching numbers come through.
Listen, it was for a long time like John Cena always said like he didn't want to have kids.
Yeah.
You know, and part of that's because I think part of it's because he's done so many Make-A-Wishes.
Yeah, I think that's 100%.
I think that breaks you see that many and that breaks your brain.
Yeah.
And I think like if I was a Reno divorce attorney.
There's no way I get
working
married.
in a divorce mill like that.
Yeah.
And hearing every single thing that came through and I'd be like, well, this one, she's pretty hot. Like she'd have to be something.
No.
It would have to be like when I met you.
Oh.
You'd have to just really have a spark there. She'd have to be real mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about 1931 Las Vegas.
Okay. Because we've been talking about Reno.
We've been in Reno, but I need to pivot over to Vegas for a minute.
Because Vegas is what most people think of when they think about Nevada.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vegas builds the Hoover Dam. Okay. And
Yeah.
this is going to change everything about Vegas.
Yeah.
Gambling tourists show the fuck up. Okay, now Reno has the monopoly on divorce, but Vegas is like, we're trying to get some of that divorcee cash.
Yeah. Because they also built the Strip around this time. And there's
Yeah.
all these like new casinos are popping up. They had the mob is starting to set things up.
Yeah.
It's Sin City is building.
Yeah.
It's the middle of nowhere.
So what does Vegas do? They kicked off their first celebrity residency.
Wait, what? Wait, okay. So when you say celebrity residency, I start thinking of like
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion's one. Adele. I think a lot about Britney Spears.
Well, hers is iconic because it was more of a trap.
Yeah, it was more of a
Really?
trap. Bruno Mars, talking about trapped.
Yeah, he's
talking
stuck
about
there.
trapped
He's
in a
stuck there, dude.
residency.
He's stuck there, dude.
Bruno Mars is never getting out.
No, dude.
Every day they're like, all right, well today you paid off 1/1000th of your debt.
Yeah.
You still
Get back up there and sing, boss.
Yeah, Uptown Funk ain't do it to you. Lady Gaga can only try to save you so many times.
Yeah.
But he had so much money on the 49ers. They're never gonna win. But the So there was a celebrity residency.
Yes, they do their first celebrity divorcee residency.
Divorcee residency.
Because that's what they're trying to push here. This is the marketing.
Got it.
You can get divorced in Vegas, okay?
Okay.
Come to Vegas. So there's this wealthy socialite. Her
Okay.
name is Rhea Langham.
So when you say socialite, real quick, you're talking about like a Paris Hilton type.
Yes.
You're talking about like what's the Posh Spice's kid's name?
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn Beckham.
Yeah.
Right. Like Brooklyn Beckham's never done anything, but Brooklyn Beckham's known in the scene, therefore is like part of society, therefore is a socialite.
Yes.
They don't do anything, but everybody knows them because they're connected to rich and famous.
Because they're
people.
rich.
Because they're rich. Okay, got it.
So this lady, she's a rich, wealthy socialite, and she's married to Clark Gable.
I know this name. Okay, Clark Gable. He had the mustache. He had the ears. He was in Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Because
So-
first I was thinking Cary Grant because we mentioned him in the last episode.
Yeah.
Because I recently found out that Cary Grant was gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mazel tov.
But this guy,
Yeah.
he was just gay for pay. Like Julius Caesar.
So she was on her fourth marriage, and he was on his second.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
So the thing is that Clark Gable was often seen stepping out on her with his famous female co-stars. And many of these things were swept under the rug, but like the paparazzi and stuff would talk about it in the papers.
Yeah. There was a specific type of paper, especially in Hollywood back in the day, that would like have, it was all like the rags and all this different stuff where it was a little bit more open on those specific things. But for the most part, the PRs and the fixers would run around and hide all this different stuff. Like that was the part that's crazy. There's so much coded language that's used about everything.
Yeah. So now she's pissed about him cheating on her.
The socialite. Yeah.
So she decides she's going to give him this long, drawn out, fuck you, California divorce.
Yeah.
But then the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce is like, hey, what if you came here, you got divorced, we'll basically pay for all of it, and you can just chill out for a couple of weeks. And so she makes a deal with the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce to do a quickie Vegas split. And they do this while Clark Gable is filming Gone with the Wind. So he's in the news, and her filing for this divorce is in the news at the same time.
Yeah, because Gone with the Wind is a massive.
Huge.
It's like the Avatar or Titanic of its day. Like it's a massive movie.
So she's in Vegas.
Yeah.
And she's like, just like gambling, partying. She's relaxing. They see her by the pool in a bathing suit. She's taking all these photo shoots.
And so she's showing off the town.
Yeah.
She's showing off Vegas, and all these people are very interested in it because she's clearly going through a public divorce.
Yes.
And at the same exact time, people are like, well, why did she go there? We're like, oh, because this is faster. She only needs to be there
For a little bit of time.
for a little bit of
weeks.
time instead of having to be in California for all
And
that
she
time.
told a newspaper, quote, "It was the finest and shortest vacation I've ever had in my life."
The 6 weeks was the shortest vacation she's ever had.
But also, she never quoted about or she did it in this portion. She didn't quote about divorce.
But
it
everyone
was a
knows.
vacation.
Yeah. So she's using coded language.
Yeah.
The same way with like lavender marriages back in the day. There's, again, going back into like how, we said before about a family way. There's all this language that was so heavily censored.
Yeah.
Especially until like basically the 60s is when you start seeing things open up. All over the place, and just like the adult press, like kids weren't reading the newspaper to hear about divorce. Nobody would have read about that, but they was just so we can't let anyone
Divorce.
know. Yeah.
So the Vegas divorce racket's popping. Okay. Even Liz Taylor posted up at a ranch while she was divorcing Eddie Fisher, who conveniently was doing a residency at the Tropicana.
That's so funny. She's like, did you do a job? You work down the road.
So
Liz Taylor, for those of you guys who don't know, Liz Taylor, first thing, huge star. For the people who don't know, you should look her up. Her story is crazy.
And she's beautiful.
Beautiful. She did a movie called Cleopatra. I mentioned Julius Caesar. They don't mention how Julius Caesar had sex with a Greek king for ships. That was brought up later. It's not mentioned in the movie Cleopatra, even though he's in it. But that movie was one of the most expensive movies ever made up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And also a box office flop. But Liz Taylor was very beautiful and very famous, but also very famously married to so many men.
Oh, yeah, it was her whole thing.
It was her whole thing.
That was
You
her whole thing.
would get married. She married like one
Her
guy
whole
twice.
thing was just like, get the diamonds and run.
Yes.
And then she named her perfume White Diamonds.
She did,
The
yeah.
first person to ever do a celebrity fragrance.
Yeah.
I love her for that.
But see, we're tying all these things together. But also,
Yeah,
at the
because
same
I want to talk about celebrity fragrances.
Yeah.
Back to Britney Spears. She does an incredible celebrity fragrance.
What is it called?
There was one called Curious. She did a ton of them. There's
No.
too many. Paris Hilton has hundreds of them.
Got it. You are just like the one henchman from the Venture Brothers who knows too much about celebrity fragrances, a reference that only makes sense to about 3 people. But,
Okay.
what I wanted to say is Liz Taylor's divorces also is what propels divorce more into the news.
Yeah.
Because as these things are happening, as you start to have marketing campaigns behind them, people feel less shame about them. And because there's less shame, there's more of a push. And then advertisers don't get scared.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happens through censorship, one is government censorship, which we are beginning to see right now across America. But the other thing has been advertiser censorship. I just want to take a little aside here.
Oh,
real fast.
aside on
Just-
our podcast?
Just a quick little aside.
All right.
Because it's a thing that's happened heavily, and especially people who have been in the LGBTQ community has been seeing this. But we've also been seeing this among creators of color, and we've been seeing this among left creators and other different people across the entire social media landscape. When you see conservatism rise, one of the things that happens is companies and advertisers get scared to partner with people. So if you have someone as big as Liz Taylor, who is a box office success, or if you have someone as big as this big socialite who has the fuck you money, and they can say, look at me, I'm getting divorced, and I'm partnering with the entire city of Las Vegas to do that, then that ends up meaning that places like Sears Roebuck won't be afraid to buy advertisements in a newspaper that also are talking about those things.
Yeah.
So look at a big thing that happened in 2022 specifically. Let's think about this. Dylan Mulvaney, a trans creator with a Bud Light can. Also, Target with the Pride section, right? There was a massive conservative attack on those specific things, right?
Yeah.
And what that did is that scared corporations and advertisers, and more in particular, the actual publishers from wanting to talk about these issues. That deranks things in the algorithm, that deranks things across our spectrum, so they become further and further back and more niche issues. These things get hidden in plain sight, and they start putting more and more things in front. I made a joke about Brooklyn Beckham right now, but this morning I opened up TikTok and I looked at the trending tab, the top 5 things. And when you think about the top 5 things that are happening in the world right now, according to the trending TikTok tab, all 5 of them were Victoria Beckham. Like, dead serious. It's Victoria Beckham at Brooklyn's wedding, and that shit was a year ago. They're not talking about ICE. They're not talking about Greenland. They're not talking about Venezuela. They're not talking about your healthcare. They're not talking about divorce and no-fault divorces in this country. They're not talking about trans issues. They're not talking about our economy. They're not talking about any of these different things because they want to hide it behind other different things. And that's exactly what you're seeing. Again, she started this story in the early 1900s. We're now getting into the 1960s with Liz Taylor and this guy getting divorced, right?
Yeah.
This is the slow march of progress. This is the slow march of progress. And now we're seeing the pushback on it in these days.
And this is about divorce, by the way.
Yes, we're still in the 60s and we're talking about divorce.
We're talking about divorce.
In Las Vegas and Reno and Nevada.
Yeah. But let's go to 1970.
1970.
Let's skip ahead a little.
Okay, skip ahead to 1970.
California Governor Ronald Reagan,
Okay.
a divorced man himself,
Okay.
signed into law our nation's first no-fault divorce bill, granting couples the opportunity to split up without placing blame.
Really?
Yes.
Ronald Reagan signed the bill. Mm-hmm. This is also shortly after he signed gun control legislation, by the way. Ronald Reagan signed a bill, and that's what started the ball rolling for no-fault divorce.
Because California's was so successful, all the other states quickly followed suit. Because like you were saying earlier, each state is seeing what works and what doesn't work, and people are like, oh, California has no-fault divorce and it's going really well.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, and other people are like, oh, they have that over there. I want that over here. That's just one of the things that just kept happening.
Yes.
So Ronald Reagan, as you said in the beginning of this, In this particular thing,
Yeah, this specific thing.
Ronald Reagan is the good guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? Let's take a break because I don't know if I can handle this emotionally.
Yep.
And we'll be right back. Okay, Mrs. P, what happens after Ronald Reagan passes no-fault divorce in California as governor, and then it ripples across
And
America?
then it spreads, right?
It spreads.
Well, the divorce ranches are gone.
Okay.
But the side effects, some of the side effects of the industry are still there. Specifically, wedding chapels took over Vegas. And this is where Vegas, their reputation changes from quick divorce into fast late night drunk weddings with Elvis.
Gotcha. I'm thinking of like Carmen Electra, right?
Yeah.
Remember Carmen Electra and the basketball player?
Dennis Rodman.
Yes. Yeah, those they got a quickie, I think it was Vegas divorce.
Probably.
Vegas
Wedding.
marriage, sorry,
Yeah.
wedding.
Britney Spears also got Vegas married.
Oh,
to Federline, I think.
In WWE, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and it's in that storyline she is passed out because he drugged her.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a whole storyline. Anyway, that's the daughter of the Secretary of Education of this country right now.
Okay.
And also the man that Trump wanted to put in charge of children's health education.
Okay, so listen.
His heart exploded from HGH and steroids.
So
He has a robot heart. Anyway, and at 50 years old, I just want to point that out.
that's young.
That's
Young to have a robot heart.
very young. But so what? Just to dial back here a little bit.
Okay.
They had the chapels because when people got divorced, like now I can marry my spare.
Exactly.
And then that just spread.
And then they were like, well, they're not getting divorced anymore, but they can still get married here. They built the economy off of that.
Yeah, and you know another thing that happened actually as no-fault divorce spread across this country?
What?
All of the moms in sitcoms died.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's actually a real thing. They started killing off sitcom moms in shows like Full House, Step by Step, and others because it was easier to explain, especially in conservative markets, a dead mom than a divorced family. Over time, you get divorced families. Like you get like Grace Under Fire and later in the 90s.
Grace Under Fire was such a good show.
It was a great show.
Damn.
But things like Roseanne and other shows as the 90s progress, you start to see actually my parents are divorced. But before it was like, how do I explain a single parent? And so it was easier to explain a single Danny Tanner by saying mom died.
It's easier to just kill off the wife.
Yes.
Versus divorce her. That's why there are family annihilators.
That is one of the things that literally happens.
Also, a lot of this is a sidebar.
Yeah.
Family annihilators are a lot of times come from financial issues. Like men, when they experience financial issues, will do that because they're like, there's no way out of this. I know what I'll do. Fucking psychos.
Yeah. Instead of asking their wife to go become a social media influencer who wears a fake pregnant belly, like Hilaria Baldwin in our first episode.
Wait, no, don't say that Alec Baldwin's.
What? No. I don't mean that he's a family annihilator. I mean that he had financial issues.
Yeah. What I was going to say is that, but I think that I saw a lady do a TikTok about this, that there might be a rise in it because of all of the online gambling.
Oh,
because
yeah. The
so
online
many
gambling
men are getting addicted to online gambling and losing so much money that it could cause a rise in that.
Well, one thing that also actually there was a
Which
drop.
is why you should get divorced if your husband is in online gambling.
If he can't stop online gambling whatsoever, if he won't listen to you about that, yes, you should leave him. Because he's actually threatening your financial well-being and the well-being of your children if you have them. And he then no longer can't be trusted with their fucking lunch money.
Yeah.
If you can't trust him to not put $5 on a parlay, then you can't trust him to hand the kid the $3 to be able to go get the meal at school. I don't know what school meals are worth right now yet.
Well, they cost a lot because they're definitely not free.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to be free because in America we have school lunch debt. But real fast, one of the other things that happened as no-fault divorce spread, besides they killed all the sitcom moms so that way they could explain what having a single parent was, was there actually was a decrease
in men dying from poison accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally
being poisoned.
Yeah.
It's almost like no-fault divorce means less men die in suspicious circumstances that are from herbs and other things that might have been in their food.
Yeah, 100% because the women didn't have any other way to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And so they would
That was the whole song, Goodbye Earl.
Yeah, what?
Do you remember that song, Goodbye Earl?
No.
Wow, okay.
I don't, that was never in, I know.
Wow. Comment below if you know about Goodbye Earl.
I don't know that song. I don't know it at all.
Okay.
But real fast, before we move on, because I know you have a little bit more about no-fault divorce today, there's so many things I don't think that people understand that are so recent. when it comes to the things that women are allowed to do in this country. So I'm thinking specifically about things like get a checking account. You weren't able to get that. There was no federal regulation that said that you couldn't be stopped because you were unmarried. There was no being able to get a loan, being able to get a mortgage, not being seen as property. These are all more recent things. Many of them that were discovered and actually brought down and put into law by the Supreme Court, by people like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and others. Things that weren't necessarily completely codified. We're sitting here on a certain anniversary of a law that never was codified, and I'm just reminding you of that as we look at so many 6-3 decisions.
I wanted to talk about what happened when I started Googling who wants to end no-fault divorce.
Oh, people want to end no-fault divorce?
Yes.
Right now?
The worst people you know.
In America?
Yes, they want to get rid of it.
All right, who are these people?
Well, here's the thing. I Google, who wants to get rid of no-fault divorce? Because while I was doing this, it kept popping up, these different articles about people saying that no-fault divorce was bad and it was ruining marriage, blah, 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 blah. And so I found on a wiki page, this is a direct quote from a wiki page, ready?
Okay.
In the 2020s, conservative activists, including Steven Crowder, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, as well as commentator Tim Pool,
bald,
pardon me, and some state Republican parties have advocated for the abolition or restriction of no-fault divorce. Similarly, conservative politicians like J.D. Vance, Mike Johnson, and Ben Carson also support significantly limiting no-fault divorce. So there is a group of conservatives now who are pushing this narrative that we got to get rid of no-fault divorce.
Yeah.
Something that is made it so much easier for women to get out of these dangerous and bad marriages.
Yeah, and these are the same conservatives and the same forces that pushed to end abortion access in this country, which ended up leading now to, we went from a world with tourist destination divorces to now we're into a world of tourist destination medical care for women to be able to access that.
Yeah. Because there are places that actually don't even have OBGYNs anymore.
Yeah, there's whole counties in Alabama where you can't even get an ultrasound.
Yeah.
Because there just aren't OBGYNs.
Yeah. So I think that what I'm trying to say is the thesis of the book report I've written here
is
hey ladies, hey fellas, and people that don't give a fuck. All the lovers and the haters and all the people that call themselves players.
Where you at?
Hot mamas.
Where you at?
Pimp daddies.
Where you at?
And people rolling up in caddies.
Where you at?
Hey rockers.
Where you at?
Hip hoppers.
Where you at? And everybody all around the world.
Let's get divorced.
Not
me and you.
Oh, okay.
Not me and you. I'm saying that if your husband supports ICE, or your wife is a TERF, or if your partner currently thinks that you're, quote, overreacting to the news, you need to get out now while you still can.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, Mrs. P. You guys, if you're listening to this and you're not happily married, get happy. Get divorced. This episode has been brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. No, it hasn't. No, we're kidding.
We're
wish. Kidding. No, I think they aren't divorced people anyway.
They're not divorced people?
I think they're injury people. But they do podcasts. They do sponsor podcasts.
That's really
No,
funny.
this episode was actually brought to you by Delete Me. Delete Me, because you need to get divorced. No, but Mrs. P, that's just been an amazing episode.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, you mentioned a song. What was the song I was supposed to listen to?
Oh, the Goodbye Earl song?
Yeah.
Yeah, by the Dixie Chicks. Well, they don't call themselves the Dixie Chicks anymore. They're the Chicks. They changed it because they got feedback and they changed their opinion. And so they changed their name with new information. What a thought.
And that's Mrs. P advice you can take to the bank right there.
Literally to the bank, to the DMV, to Social Security.
Actually, speaking about the bank, if you are getting divorced and you have a joint account, go to the bank and withdraw the money.
First.
I worked at a bank. It's whoever gets to the bank first.
Yeah.
It's a race. I can't tell you how often someone's called when I worked at the phone center in a bank, and they'd be like, I'm getting divorced. I need to do this thing. And they'd be like, okay, well, then you can come down to the branch and just withdraw it. I want to have it removed from all my accounts. You can't.
No.
You can't. No. You both have to sign. When working at it, if you have joint accounts and you're both on the bank, you both need to sign to have one of you removed, but only one of you need to be present to withdraw all the money or close the account.
Yep.
So it's faster to close the account and open a new one just in your name.
Yeah.
Which I do recommend doing that at a second bank.
A different bank.
We aren't lawyers.
We're not lawyers.
We're not lawyers.
I'm just a lady who got mad watching TikToks, started Googling stuff about divorce, found out they used to have resort divorce ranches, and then realized that Ronald Reagan was the good guy. Pfft, hate that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, why would people want to end no-fault divorce? Turns out it's just to...
Because most of them are actually gay.
What?
Out of that list of ones, a bunch of those dudes, JD Vance is in there. Come on. Come on, JD.
And then it just led me down a pipeline of get divorced now, because if they change the laws, it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah. So just do it now. And just the same way you should
listen to this married couple tell you to get divorced.
And then make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and give us 5 stars. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.